One day, without warning, without delay, your name will be called, not for a meeting, not for a message, but for your janazah, and everything you ever owned, everything you ever loved, will stay behind, except one thing, your deeds. There comes a moment that no one can escape, not the rich, not the powerful, not the young. The angel of death arrives, not early, not late, exactly on time. The room may be full of people, family crying, voices calling your name, but you begin to see something they cannot, a reality that was always there, but hidden, and in that moment, the world disappears, and the afterlife begins. For some, the soul is taken gently, like a drop of water falling from a leaf. For others, it is pulled, like a thorn being dragged through wet wool, painful, slow, unimaginable, and as the soul leaves the body, everything becomes clear, but by then, there is no return. In that moment, you realize the life you spent chasing, the worries that consumed you, the things you thought mattered, begin to fade. The arguments, the pride, the sins done in secret, all stand before you, clear, undeniable, and you understand, this was never just life, this was a test. Your eyes close, but your journey does not end. It has only just begun. The soul, now separated from the body, enters a world unseen, a world known as Barzakh, a barrier between this life and the next. Your body remains behind, motionless, silent, lifeless, but you are still aware. You hear the cries, you feel the sorrow, but you cannot respond. No matter how much you want to say, I am still here. No one can hear you anymore. Soon, your body is prepared, washed carefully, as others handle you with a seriousness they never had before, wrapped in simple white cloth, stripped of status, stripped of wealth, stripped of identity, because in death, all are equal. They carry you on their shoulders, walking toward the place every human fear, yet cannot avoid. The graveyard, a place once distant, now your permanent home. People gather, some crying, some silent, some already thinking about returning to their lives, because the world does not stop, even when yours has ended. You are lowered into the grave, slowly, carefully, placed into a narrow space beneath the earth. For the first time, you are truly alone. No walls, no comfort, no escape. Then it begins, the sound of soil falling onto your grave. One handful, then another, and with every sound, the connection to the world above weakens until it disappears completely. And then they leave. Your family, your friends, everyone you knew, walks away. You hear their footsteps fading, slowly, until there is nothing left but silence. This is the moment no one can prepare you for. The first night in your grave. No light, no movement, no distraction, just darkness, deep, overwhelming darkness. But this is not sleep. You are awake, aware, conscious. You begin to feel something unfamiliar. The grave responds to you. For some, the grave expands, becoming vast, peaceful, filled with light. For others, it tightens, closing in, pressing from every side, suffocating, crushing. And then they arrive, two angels, terrifying in appearance, powerful beyond imagination. They sit you up in your grave and begin the questioning, not about your job, not about your followers, not about your achievements, but three simple questions that carry the weight of eternity. Who is your Lord? What is your religion? Who is your prophet? For those who lived with faith, the answers flow naturally, not forced, not memorized, but rooted deep within the heart. And as they answer, peace begins to surround them. Their grave fills with light. A door opens, revealing their place in paradise. A gentle breeze enters, carrying comfort, relief, and a promise that what is coming is far better. But for others, the moment is different. Fear takes over. Confusion clouds the mind. They try to speak, but nothing comes out, because the answers were never truly within them. And then the punishment begins. The grave tightens, unbearably. A door opens, but not to paradise, to the fire. Heat, unbearable heat, reaches them, along with a glimpse of what awaits. Regret floods their heart, not small regret, but a regret so deep it cannot be described. They realize every opportunity they wasted, every warning they ignored, every sin they justified. They wish for one more chance, one more prayer, one more moment, one more day, but time is no longer theirs. The grave becomes either a garden from the gardens of paradise or a pit from the pits of hell. There is no third option. Time passes, but not like before. Days feel like moments, or moments feel like eternity. The concept of time loses meaning completely. For the righteous, it feels like a peaceful sleep. For others, it feels like an endless nightmare, repeating without escape. And outside, life continues. People laugh, work, plan their futures, unaware that beneath the ground, millions are living a reality they will soon face. The grave is not the end. It is the beginning, a waiting place before a greater event, the day of judgment. A day when every soul will rise again, every secret revealed, every action weighed, every injustice accounted for. But before that day comes, this night must be faced. The first night, the most critical, the most defining. Right now, you are still alive, still breathing, still choosing, still able to change your path. But one day, you will be there, in that grave, in that darkness, facing those questions, alone. No wealth will follow you. No status will protect you. No one will answer for you. Only your deeds will remain, your prayers, your intentions, your actions, your sincerity. So ask yourself, if tonight was your first night in the grave, what would it look like? Would it be filled with light or darkness, peace or fear? Because that night is not a story, it is a promise that is coming closer with every second, every breath, every heartbeat. Prepare for the grave before you enter it, because once you are inside, preparation ends and reality begins. In that darkness, you begin to remember moments you once ignored, a prayer you delayed, a sin you justified, a reminder you scrolled past, thinking you had time, but time was always limited. You realize how many chances you were given, how many times you were reminded, warned, guided, but chose distraction instead. Not because you didn't know, but because you thought later. But there is no later in the grave, no tomorrow, no next opportunity, no reset, only the consequences of what has already been done. The silence becomes heavier, not peaceful, but meaningful. Every second feels like it is watching you, reminding you that you are now facing truth without filters. For those who believed, this silence becomes comfort. A calmness enters, unlike anything in the world. No stress, no fear, no pressure, just peace. Deep, complete peace. But for others, the silence is terrifying, because it leaves them alone, with their thoughts, their regrets, their reality, and there is nowhere to run. Memories begin to replay, not like before, but clearer, sharper. Every cruelty, every lie, every hidden act stands in front of you as if it just happened. You begin to understand that nothing was ever truly hidden. Not a word, not an intention, not even a thought escaped the knowledge of Allah. And that realization is heavier than anything else, because now there is no denial, no excuses, no justification. The grave continues to respond to your state. For the righteous, it becomes wider, brighter, almost alive with tranquility. For others, it becomes tighter, darker, suffocating. A presence remains with you, not a person, but something familiar. Your deeds now take form. Your actions now become your companion. If your deeds were good, your companion is comforting, bringing peace, reassurance, light. But if your deeds were corrupted, your companion becomes frightening, disturbing, unbearable. And you realize you are not alone. You were never alone. Your deeds were always with you, recording, shaping, waiting for this moment. There is no phone, no distraction, no escape, just you and the truth of your life, a truth that cannot be edited, deleted, or changed. Above the ground, life continues as normal. Conversations, laughter, plans for the future. But beneath, you are living a reality, more real than anything before. You begin to hear things, distant, unclear, not voices, but reminders, echoes of the world, now completely out of reach. If someone makes dua for you, you feel it, a moment of relief, a drop of mercy, entering your darkness, a reminder that not everything is lost. If you left behind good deeds, ongoing charity, beneficial knowledge, a righteous child, they continue to reach you, light entering your grave again and again. But if you left nothing behind, the silence returns, heavy, empty, endless. you begin to wish, not for wealth, not for status, but for a single sincere deed, one prayer, done properly, one act, done purely for Allah. Because now you understand, it was never about quantity, but sincerity, not how much you did, but how real it was. The grave teaches what the world could not. It strips away illusions and reveals reality with absolute clarity. Every human being, rich or poor, powerful or weak, reaches this same place, the same darkness, the same questions, the same truth, and in that moment, all differences disappear. Titles, followers, achievements, reduced to nothing. Only one thing remains relevant: your relationship with Allah. Was it real or just occasional? Was it consistent or only when convenient? Because in the grave, there is no pretending. What was inside your heart is now your reality. The anticipation begins, waiting for the day when everything will be revealed. A waiting that feels completely different, depending on your state. For some, it feels short, almost like a peaceful pause before something greater. For others, it feels endless, like a punishment that never pauses. And then a thought crosses your mind, not of the past, but of what is coming next. The day of resurrection, when graves will open, when the earth will release everything within it, when no soul will remain hidden. You imagine that moment rising again, standing before your Creator with nothing to hide. And suddenly, the grave no longer feels like the end. It feels like a waiting room before the final meeting, a meeting that cannot be avoided, delayed or escaped. Right now, you still have control. You can still choose, still change, still prepare. But once you enter that grave, choice is taken away, actions stop, the record is sealed. No more chances to fix, no more opportunities to return, no more time to become better, only the outcome of what you already built. So before that night comes, ask yourself again, what am I preparing for? Because the first night in the grave is not just a night, it is the beginning of your forever.